It's only sort of a fail story, but I like it anyway. So when several years ago, like 14 years ago, I ran information security for Network Associates, which was back right after it formed after McAfee merged with Network General, and it was this huge infosec conglomerate. Their first year, they acquired like 18 security companies, and it was crazy. For the first, I was there a little bit more, I guess I was there about 2.5 years. For the first year and a half, 2 years I was there, we didn't have a firewall. Like, we were a firewall company, but we were pushing so much bandwidth with AV that no one had a commercial firewall that could actually handle the amount of bandwidth. So we did, so you say, how can a security company run without a firewall? Well, we actually did it all with router access lists. So I mean, technically, we were doing network filtering, and if you think about the general state of firewalls at the time, with the exception of the sort of Gauntlet product, which Network Associates actually owned, it was pretty much packet filtering anyway. It was fancy packet filtering, but it was just packet filtering anyway, which really meant that it was a Sunbox or something running essentially router access lists, except we were doing it all in hardware on a giant Cisco. So we were, at that time, we were maintaining 200 plus megabits of steady traffic.
Wow.
During virus outbreaks, dropping another 45, 50 megabits on the floor because, well, that's how much bandwidth was coming in and we just didn't have extra capacity for it, with a couple hundred line access lists that kept everything nice and secure. I mean, the general gist of the talk is that a huge percent of the security breaches we see these days, when you start looking at the Verizon reports and similar reports, aren't due to elite hackers. They're not due to people finding obscure vulnerabilities in products. They're due to human error. They're due to bad operational practices, bad development practices. I mean, really things that we should be able to address, and they're largely not addressed because people are fallible, and in particular, it comes down to doing the same types of tasks over and over again, which people are particularly bad at doing. And so the response to this is to automate as much of the stuff that can be automatable as possible. So, because computers are really good at doing the same thing over and over again, and doing it the exact same way over and over again. And when they screw up, they log it very prettily and nicely, so you actually know when something bad happened. And that not only gets rid of a lot of these issues, but it also means the humans can focus on the hard problems the computers aren't good at doing. I think if someone's thinking about a career in information security, I mean, obviously there's such a broad range of what that can mean. The first thing they should really do is learn the basics of whether it's going to be web application security or a traditional information security analyst. You need to understand how web applications work, or operating systems, or networking. You need to actually have some really good solid grounding in the underlying guts. As Jimmy said in his talk about it, you need to understand the plumbing. And so I think that's, I was originally a systems administrator. Some of the folks I know who are sort of senior in security now came out of either systems administration or networking, and getting a good solid base in a technical, in IT, or an IT-related field or programming before getting to security will not only prepare you technically, but also give you a deeper understanding of how the world which you're interacting with works. And then if you actually have experience as a sysadmin or a developer, whatever, you can actually converse with those folks when your role changes and understand sort of the business realities of what they do, as opposed to just saying, well, my CISSP textbook says this is the way to do it, or I took the following, my security class in college says the right way to do this is X. Well, it doesn't matter what the right way to do it is. The question is, what's the effective way to do it in the context of the organization that you're working in. I worked at one company where I showed up, and the official policy was no one could, log in as root remotely. It was completely ridiculous because everyone did, because that's just how things were built. And it's like, okay, so you have to make sure, your policies, technically, is that a bad decision? Well, in official security words, you never log in remotely as root. But if everyone's doing it and the business is okay with that, change the policy, not the behavior. But I mean, it's not a technology thing, honestly. It's focus on understand what your business does, understand what the goals of the business are. understand what they're concerned with, what the people who are making, the goal of business is to make money. That's all businesses do. Whether they make products or sell widgets or make electricity. I mean, their job in the end is make money.
Okay.
And so you need to understand how your business makes money and how your business loses money, and understand what the people who are in charge of making that happen are worried about and what they're not worried about. And sometimes the things they're worried about are things they should be worried about, and sometimes they're not. But first you need to understand what their actual concerns are before you can start addressing them and talking appropriately. Some organizations, cloud is a perfect tool. Other organizations aren't ready for that, either due to technology reasons or more pragmatic reasons, like they just they don't have a comfort level yet with how to manage compliance concerns in the cloud. Or in the case of government and military, there's certain levels of compliance requirements that there just aren't public cloud providers providing yet, so they just can't. But those are fewer and fewer. I don't see people charging the cloud for security.
Okay.
I see, ostensibly people move to the cloud, in theory because of cost savings, but realistically it's an agility. I think it's the ability to switch and pivot faster. Liquidmatrix, the best damn security podcast north of the 49th parallel.